What's up, guys? Back for another Facebook group Rant Fridays. Let's recap how this is going to go. You should know the formula by now. I go inside Amazon seller Facebook groups. I offer commentary in 5 different parts. Part 1, I go on a crazed rant. Part 2, I stir up unnecessary drama. I say things I shouldn't say. Part 3, I give you specific, tactical, actionable Amazon selling advice you can go make money with. Part 4, I do buy or pass. I show you a book on a scanning app that I find in a Facebook group. I tell you what I buy it or pass on it based on the data I see in the scanning app. In part 5, I give you life lessons disguised as Amazon lessons. I get a little bit deep, a little bit philosophical. Let's get into it. Okay, rant time. You guys want to talk about buyback sites? So this is a rant about the increasing popularity of cash buyback sites. Now, I want to give this disclaimer. I'm actually probably the person most responsible for popularizing cash buyback sites and Amazon's trading program and all the associated sort of that side of things. Back in probably 2016, I started talking about this. And I built the second trade and arbitrage software tool for Amazon sellers. And that did really well. And I've done webinars on this. I literally wrote an entire book called Trade and Arbitrage. It's out of print now. But the point is, I've been talking about this for a long time. So I'm uniquely kind of qualified to sort of give my opinion, I guess you could say. So I know both sides of this. I'm not somebody that's like, trade-in, what is this weird trade-in thing, right? So these trade-in programs are getting increasingly popular, seemingly as reflected in Facebook groups. And so it has me a little bit concerned. Now, again, as someone that used to talk about trade-in arbitrage a lot, and there's this whole backstory. Like, I built a second tool. The first tool was built by some jokers that like took my free training and turned it into a tool. And then I copied their tool, but made it 10 times better. It was this whole thing. And I wrote a book about it, all this stuff, right? So this is my position from day one. I was upfront about this back in the day. And again, I haven't talked about this subject for several years. But I'm going to say the same thing now that I said then, which is that Amazon's trade-in program is for a very specific type of seller, or in a way like a non-seller, somebody that doesn't want any risk at all, totally risk averse, like extremely risk averse. Somebody that doesn't want to go through all the trouble of building up the infrastructure of, scanning apps and having like a FBA account and all this stuff, right? They just want low risk, low return, but low risk, where they just want to find books, guarantee the amount they're going to get, because that's how trading programs work, right? Amazon had a trading program. There's about 30, 40 other cash buyback sites that work the same way, where they give you an instant quote. You can go like bookscouter.com is like the big site where it aggregates all the different buyback programs. You get a quote and you lock it in. You say, okay, I have this book. I'm going to lock this price in, and they give you a shipping label. So it's free shipping. You ship the book to them, and as long as it arrives within 2 weeks or whatever, you get paid, and that's it. So there's no risk. You already have a buyer lined up in the form of the buyback site. So I have a lot to say about this. This seems to be getting increasingly popular in terms of, this is where I think things kind of take a turn, right? So in my mind, in the past, there was the online arbitrage world, right? People that want to source inventory online. Okay, awesome. I'm still a proponent of that. And then within that, there's the people that want really, really low risk and everything I just mentioned. And so those people would gravitate towards trade-in sites and buyback sites. So in the past, I've always kind of couched my trade-in training in terms of, this is for you if 1, you want to source online, and then 2, you're extremely risk averse, right? And it was always for those people. And what happened to me was I was getting tons of people coming to me because I was teaching a system I developed called online book arbitrage, where you buy low, merge fulfilled, resell FBA. I wrote the book on it. Like, I built the first tool for it, all this stuff, right? So I was getting all these people coming to me being like, dude, I love the idea of sourcing inventory online, sourcing books online. But what I can't stand is the part where I don't know if the book's going to sell or not. I was getting all these risk averse people coming to me. And so I want to have something for them. And so I started developing kind of the system I called trade and arbitrage. There was this whole thing, right? So by the way, I'm not involved with, like, I'm not selling it. That book's out of print. Like, there's nothing being sold here. But I have taught this a lot. So it was for those people in my mind. I was like, all right, if you're risk averse and you want to source online, so we're getting kind of narrow, right? There's a very small percentage of people. This is for you, right? But this is the rant I want to go on. I'm seeing buyback sites being increasingly popular amongst people that actually sell on Amazon, that actually have the infrastructure built up. They have the apps. They've got the label printer. They have the FBA account. They have everything already in place to actually sell the book themselves. And what I assume is obvious, but I'll repeat this if it's not obvious, the cash buyback value that you get from these cash buyback sites, the amount they give you is inherently less than you could get if you sold it to a customer. So in other words, the average selling price is $50. The cash buyback site is going to give you $7, right? They need to have like huge margins for it to be worth their time because they have to pay for shipping, all this stuff. Is it starting to kind of make sense why I'm a little uneasy with this trend? You got this post on the screen you can see here, but I literally just scanned another one a second ago. Like they seem to be increasingly, it comes up more and more and more of these forums where people are talking about cash buyback sites. And it's a little bit puzzling for me because my feeling is you've already got an Amazon account, you've already got everything, you got the equipment, you got everything. Like you are able to sell directly to customers. So why are you selling to cash buyback sites? In my mind, that's always been a different type of person. But now everything's kind of bleeding together. And I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's, maybe I'm just reading the situation wrong. Like maybe these people don't have Amazon selling accounts. Like I see people posting screenshots of apps like Scout, like they have an app. So they're at least they're going out in the field. They're not just sourcing inventory online. So they have an app. So we know that much about them. And then they're commenting about, well, should I buy this because the cash buyback value is only this amount? And it's like, if you're already going that far, why wouldn't you just sell the book? And again, I'm saying this as somebody that spent a lot of time advocating for trading arbitrage. I kind of stopped back when Amazon killed their trading program back in 2020. That was probably the last time I actually like really talked about this, because then it just became discouraging for a lot of people. But so yeah, so I think, I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if Amazon sellers don't know that the cash buyback value is inherently a small percentage of what they could get if they actually just sold the book directly to a customer. I'm sure they know that because they have the app. They can see the price differential. So I don't think it's that. I just don't know. I'm just very puzzled by it. But I guess my message would be this. If you have all the infrastructure, you got the equipment, you know how to sell on Amazon, just sell to a customer. You're going to get probably 5-10 times more for the book than you otherwise would. So I'm concerned about this because I don't know if this new generation of Amazon seller understands how much money they're leaving on the table. I'm going to put this in the drama section. This is as frivolous and as petty as you will ever see me. And I'm someone that's extremely frivolous and extremely petty, as you guys know. This is as bad as I will ever get, I think, although I'll probably top myself at some point. You guys, I hate the word flip. I hate the word flip. The word flip makes me cringe. It makes my skin crawl. When I see people refer to like a sale as a flip or refer to themselves as flippers, like every time I hear it, I like wince. It makes me, it pains me. Now you're like, Peter Valley, shut up. Like, who cares? What does it matter what word someone do? You're right. To a certain extent, you're right. I think I might do a whole video about this where I talk about kind of the power of words, which sounds like, what does that have to do with Amazon selling? But I do think it's a certain type of seller that identifies as a flipper. And it's not the same as let's just say there's other types of sellers that would shy away from that term. I'll keep it polite here. But yeah, I mean, again, this is pointless drama. Like, why would I call someone out for using the word flip? I'm not really. I just think the word has bad energy, and it sends a message to your subconscious that you are not involved in a real business. Because a flip business is not a real business. A flip business is just like you take something and you get quick, instant gratification, quick returns. You take something, you flip it, and you buy it low and sell it high. And the flipper mindset is kind of like, all right, I bought this thing for this. What can I flip it for? How quickly can I turn this money over? What's the amount? What's the number that I can flip it for, right? And it's like, that's not a real business. So I'm getting way off track here. Pointless drama, almost pointless. But really there is some value in this and kind of thinking about like how you identify, how you identify yourself, because you will always conform your actions to your identity. Now we're getting into life lessons, which I'm not going to put this in that section, but the actions you take in this life and business will always conform to your identity. And I would caution you severely against identifying as a flipper. Stay tuned for a much longer video on this. But this is the pointless drama I wanted to introduce to this otherwise peaceful video that was inspired by this post. This person says, I have a question about Keepa. With the used data, do dips or movements in the black line indicate a sale, or do we only observe that with dips movements in the sales rank? I'm going to upgrade back to the paid version, just curious. So what they're asking is they're looking at the price history chart here, not the sales history chart. And they're asking, does the price going downward indicate a sale? So the answer is no, absolutely not. In no way does the price going down represent a sale. If anything, it represents the opposite of a sale, because if the price is going down, it means it's probably not selling, or at least that's a clue it's not selling. So if anything, it's the opposite. And I don't even, this isn't even a lesson that needs to be imparted here. It's just too basic to even talk about. But what does need to be talked about is how much misinformation there is around Keepa charts. And I'm not going to give a whole Keepa tutorial right now, of course, although I probably should. But the one thing I will say about Keepa that's important to keep in mind, just like an overarching principle here regarding Keepa, is that you should never interpret the data literally. Don't take an orthodox view of the charts. So what I mean by that is, if you see a sales rank chart and the line dips downward, it doesn't always mean a sale. It should mean a sale, but not always. You have to interpret the data liberally. In other words, you have to just look at it as sort of a general guide, not necessarily hard, specific evidence of specific behavior or anything on Amazon. So with the price history charts, very similar story. So if the Keepa charts reflect a certain price, it probably is listed at that price, but it's not capturing every single price change. So in other words, you're just getting the broad strokes. And Keepa's good. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't trust it, but just understand you're not getting all the data. So again, we can look at this chart. It's a price history chart. You see the price going straight up, and then it's over, and then it's down, and there's a bunch of stairs going down. But again, these are prices. This has nothing to do with sales, literally nothing. So we're talking about two different subjects. But yeah, just don't interpret the Keepa charts literally. That's the lesson. Buy or pass. Let's see what we have here. So this person says, I'm going to an estate sale tomorrow, and these books are at. I do not know the price. There are no fulfilled by merchant sellers. If I can get them for a decent price, what do you guys think? Yes or no? And they post a screenshot from Scoutly. Let's take a look. So this is the app. This is what the prices they're seeing. The rank is 3.4 million. We can't see the average rank, which is a little bit of a problem, but not too much. And okay, so lowest three prices, $250, $360, and $409. There's a bunch of copies in new condition, more than used, which is a little bit interesting, but we don't need to speculate about that. Not very meaningful. And then let's go over to the Keepa chart they also posted, which is very helpful. It's interesting. A lot of people will post screenshots like this and they'll go buy or pass, and they don't think to include the Keepa chart, which again, if you're on the fence about something, that will usually settle it. The Keepa chart will usually settle the issue. So thankfully, Scoutly does offer us Keepa charts. So what are we seeing here? So you can see the sales rank is, I'm actually literally colorblind. That's not a joke. Like I think that's green, but I've never been able to tell what I see, like a lot of colors get jumbled for me. Anyway, whatever that sales rank is, you can see it indicates it's clearly selling like pretty frequently. In fact, it's selling to such a degree that makes me, June, I'm trying to do the math here. Like 3.2 million seems like a suspiciously low rank for what I'm seeing here, but maybe not. So it last sold. Okay, so it might have last sold like late June. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so 3.2 million sales rank. But the point is, this is selling relatively frequently. I can see, every time the line drops down dramatically towards around, it's hard to tell, but 500 and below, that's a sale. Theoretically. So 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing at least in the last year, at least dozen or so sales. Okay, so this is great. Everything's great so far. 3.2 million is not a rank that should deter most sellers. Okay, so that's good. Let's look at the price history. Because again, it's not just about one or the other. If you just look at the price, you miss the story, half the story. If you look at the rank, you also miss half the story. So the used value, which again, colorblind here, but I don't ever see it going below just a hair under $200. Some of you might be screaming because I'm so colorblind. No, okay, yeah. Okay, so it kind of dips down below 200 on some occasions, but it's spending most of its time around $200. Now, here's the important lesson here. When the rank, you can clearly see their sales, and the price is relatively steady. It's within a range of $200 to $250-ish, $30-ish dollars, we could say here. That means it's actually selling at those prices. So one of the concerns that's a valid concern that a lot of sellers have, and I often have when I look at something, I'm like, right, it's listed for this amount right now, but what is it actually selling for? And the Keepa charts tell the story. This book is in fact selling frequently for around $200. Okay, so that's everything I need to know. That is as home run as you can get this side of, a really good sales rank. So the sales rank is just whatever. It's just sort of is what it is. It's not terrible, but it's not great. But we've confirmed through look at the Keepa charts, this book is in fact selling for around $200. It's priced significantly higher now, and that's a home run. I'm sold. All right, guys, we covered a lot of ground. You now have a 3-part mission. Are you ready? Mission number 1, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can build a whole business off of what I give away for free. Do it right now. Number 2, get all my free stuff. Hit the link below this video. Go to fbamastery.com. Get free reports, free web classes, no strings attached. Free means free. Hit the link below this video right now. And mission number 3, take what you learned in this video and go make money with it. This is Peter Valley signing off. See you in the next video.